Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the fifth episode of Quality Check. We've lasted five whole episodes now. We've not been cancelled, and as a bonus, we've got no Shulks on today. This is not the Super Shulk show. They are all elsewhere. They're at Melody at the moment, and they're backing up in Scotland. So no Shulks today. But what I have got with me is three of my very good friends from the South Coast scene. I'll introduce them one by one, and then they'll just tell you a little bit about themselves and go from there. So, in no particular order, I've got my good friend Cam or Vyrus, who's one of the TOs over at Southampton. Why don't you introduce yourself, Cam, and tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am Cameron or Vyrus. I technically stopped playing Smash Ultimate for a while, but I'm back now. I'm still playing Pikachu, and I have a stream at twitch.tv/virusplays.
Well, thank you very much. And we've got your favorite player on the South Coast, the protagonist of the South Coast, who I've now taken over the role from since they have finished this
Bollocks.
game. We've got the one and only NXCraig. Why don't you introduce yourself, Craig?
Hi guys, so I'm Craig and my tag's NXC. I've been playing or was playing competitive Smash for about 5 years. I've main Captain Falcon for most of those years, but I was also a TO for 2 of them. So one of those years I was the head TO for Nexus Smash, run the locals down in Bournemouth, but I also helped run events like Reunion, and I was also the head TO for the NFC or the Nexus Fighting Championship, which was a year before last, I think. And I suppose I can add recently retired to those accolades as well. And unlike Virus, now I have not returned, and now I'm not playing Pikachu.
No, he's playing a more honest character. And then
That's a
last,
lie.
and last but not least, we have the editor and my general right hand man, without whom any of this would be possible whatsoever. My good friend Wumumu, please introduce yourself and go from there.
Too kind, Tom. Hi, I'm Wumumu, or just Woo is fine as well. I've been in the scene for probably the longest of anyone here. I think I've been playing Smash since the early PM days. I think it's about 10 years at this point. So if you're ever on the South Coast, you probably know who I am. You've seen me around. I'm one of the co-creator of Cargo Weeklies on the South Coast. I've been a part of the Wave Smash team. I've been TOing for like 4 years. Part of the Mania team as well. TO'd Smash Adventure. Was part of both Reunion teams as well. So if you've been to Reunion, you've probably seen me around. I've just been all over the place.
Man has been around.
I've been around.
As long as it's on the South Coast.
Yeah. I only really started traveling like the last couple of years or so before I stopped playing. So you're noticing a theme here. I also don't play Smash anymore.
Tom can just leave if he wants. He doesn't.
Yeah, my podcast now. I'm here to take over. I'm not just the producer.
Just
anymore.
edit him out.
Yeah. Just strike him from the
80%.
record. But yeah, that's pretty much all about me. I also have a Twitch stream as well at twitch.tv/Wumumu as well. I think there's an underscore in there. Wumumu_.
Yeah,
So-
I've tuned into your Twitch stream. I haven't managed to catch Virus yet, although we did talk about it the other day. You'll do Soul Links and
Mondays.
Mondays,
Every Monday.
and then you also stream a bit of Street Fighter. Your
Yeah.
tournament run.
Street Fighter, whenever I'm doing like online tournament runs, I'll stream those. I also stream a lot of like single player, like JRPG stuff as well. So if that's your kind of thing, then feel free to tune in. So yeah, everything's on my Twitter. So if you're ever curious, just follow my Twitter. I'll be on there.
It's good you just started doing it again, didn't you?
Yeah.
You stopped it for a while.
Yeah, I won't talk about me too much. That's fine. But yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that eventually one day, as bleak as this will sound, we will all stop playing Smash. Whether it's a year from now, or when the next game comes out, or in 2 years from now, when a lot of the scene has moved up and grown up and moved on because to other fighting games. I just want to sort of ask you, what has life looked like for you guys? Quitting Smash per se, because it's obviously a big part of a lot of people's lives at the moment. People travel for Smash, people have found friends via Smash, they found communities, and it's a daunting thought for a lot of us that we won't have that to fill our time. The people that we've made relationships and friendships with will sort of maybe disappear. Sort of in your experiences, what's that been like? Do you still talk to people? How are you feeling your time? Is yeah, just talk to me, explain.
Who wants to start? Who retired first out of us three?
I think technically that was me, right?
Well, you start then, Virus. Why did
So-
you retire?
I never. There was not really a point where I was like, oh yeah, quitting Smash, this is what I want to do. It was more a case of, I'm going to Cargo now to play Street Fighter. I'm actually doing okay in this game, and I kind of want to take it a bit more seriously. So maybe I just won't enter Smash the next time. And it was like, okay, that worked. I'm going to keep doing that and keep doing that. And then I just didn't play Smash for about 5-6 months. Not like, it was never from a place of like, oh, I hate this game, I don't want to play it. It was just Street Fighter 6 is out. I'm okay at this game. I dare say I'm fairly good. And it was just, it was more like, okay, stop playing to focus on the game that I'm currently playing more and enjoying more. Because, if you've got the motivation, you've got to roll with it, right?
I will say as a disclaimer, Vyrus does play JP, who is like the best character in that game. He's like a zonery kind of person. He's like Youngling on steroids with magic and a
Yeah,
style.
but I play him sick.
So that yeah.
More honest.
I'm ever so slightly more honest than the average.
A lot more. I think, yeah, he's
Formerly
alright.
the best character in the game, might I add.
Oh, has he been
Yeah,
toppled?
yeah, he's been
been
nerfed
deeper?
now. Yeah.
No, Vyrus.
He's still top 2.
Virus is a believer. He's
He
not
is.
downplaying it at all.
I don't care. My character is
Proper
disgusting.
villain
My
arc.
character's
Wu
so
says he listens
good.
to evil music.
I do have a villainous playlist
Villainous playlist.
specifically
He's
for tournament.
role-playing
Yeah,
in a Street Fighter tournament. He's like, you hate playing me, and I'm gonna make sure that you suffer playing me. You're gonna hate this game, and I'm gonna make you suffer.
I have walked away mid-game winning level 3.
And not fist bump.
I've also wrapped up my controller mid level 3 animation. It feels powerful. I won't lie. Like you get the input, you see the animation, you're like, right, shake my hand, GE, yeah, shake my hand.
It was especially good. The one week I managed to do it while there was a stream for Street Fighter. I managed to walk away in time with JP walking away. And I have never felt more cool in my life.
Nice.
Is that the equivalent of doing like the Joker run as he's putting it in time with him?
Yes, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the
Literally got
same.
box in his
Yeah,
hand,
that's
literally
funny.
running with a box in his hand.
That's good shit.
You said that you've sort of started not to come back to Smash, but you've played it a little bit more recently. After.
Yeah.
Well, what's that been like? Obviously, you've not played it for a while. You've focused on Street Fighter, and now you were like,
I think
here. Why not?
I think more than anything, like when I'm at Cargo for the Street Fighter events, I tend to just not have the mental space to interact with anyone. Where with Smash, I feel like the game's just a lot more social anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been great to go to a weekly. I'll probably go to a couple more and just play my games and hang out. It's been great, and I'm also surprised at how much of Pikachu stuff I remember. After having literally not touched the game for 6 months prior.
I suppose that Virus touches on. So mine was kind of. I mean, like you hit the nail on the head in terms of like I think there's an enjoyment aspect to anything. If you are passionate and enjoy what you do, there's kind of nothing really stopping you at that particular point when you're willing to put the hours in, etc. For me, the enjoyment was obviously the nail on the head. It was the lack of enjoyment for pretty much anything. I hated playing every single character in the game. There was not a single matchup that I enjoyed or found fun. which is like insane out of a cast of 86, right? But kind of there were hints here and there, but like when you've been doing something for so long, it becomes just like I play Smash, it's what I do. I compete, I train, I do whatever. But it was getting to the point where winning wasn't fun, losing is certainly not fun, and to actually practice is like I have to force myself to do so, like it's a chore. Like, oh, I haven't done any practice this week. I've got to do this. I've got to practice that. I've got to do this. But there was no motivation to. When the first couple of years of the game, I was playing every day, every single day. It didn't matter. It was CPUs. It was whatever. It was. I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to get better at that. And it was actually playing Street Fighter and just giving it a go over Christmas because my friends wouldn't shut up about it.
Guilty.
And I was scared. It was funny because I was scared to give it a go, thinking I would enjoy it. Right? What a ridiculous thing to insinuate that I might enjoy something. It's that series that you think you're going to watch, and it's just like, won't you start it? The next week of your life is gone, and it's a couple late. So I eventually tried it over Christmas. Really, really enjoyed it, and I got that same enjoyment and that kind of passion to play that I got from the very beginning of Ultimate. It was kind of there. It was again. I was like, oh, I remember what this used to feel, or what this used to feel like. So I realized over the last year, taking frequent breaks, and it's just not being that fun, that it was time to come to an end, and I just had to stop competing because it just wasn't fun and drama, and it was actually probably affecting my health to some degree. Playing a competitive fighting game is extremely hard. Playing any sport is extremely hard. So I did decide to kind of move on at that particular point, and it is one of the hardest decisions that I have ever made. And I'm someone who's moved on from a competitive game before. I played Smite the MOBA for 5-6 years. I eventually moved on for that, and I could not imagine a scenario. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the best in the world. I don't care. I'm gonna be those people you see on the screen, those people you see on the Twitch chat. That's gonna be me because I'm main character. I'm have that passion.
He's the protagonist.
I'm the protagonist, right? That kind of, it's a given. I don't care. This is happening. Like, you just accept it. This is happening. And it's the end of an era. And moving on from something that is such a huge part of your life, and especially as Vyrus says, that's very social, because Smash also became synonymous with my friends and the people that I saw every week. And when I look back at Smash, yeah, I enjoy some of the moments, but the moments that stick out in my mind are the car trips, the food in the service stations. There's the getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to pick up the kids. I'm sorry, I did pick up
Teaching
kids.
Craig what Eurobeat is on the way to a big event.
Exactly. It's the 5-6 hour drives to shops and just immediately play pools, like, and then play all day and then drive home, like. Insane. Those are things that stick in my mind, and to move away from that is extremely hard. And being brutally honest, so I quit basically the 1st of January after I had made 2 great events, and I decided that this is what I needed to do. And also thanks to Sarah as well, my partner, for convincing me of doing this.
Your fiance. Your fiance.
Right.
You're not allowed. You can't say partner anymore.
Yeah, that's a big no-no.
Oh,
a big no-no now, buddy.
She's coming in a minute and tell me off. Yes, she was there from Smite days and convincing me to move on and thinking that was best. She's a fantastic. She's so supportive. It's fantastic. But for the first couple of months, like January, February, I got seriously depressed for quite a long time not playing Smash because of how huge a part of my life it was and how seeing everyone was, and because Smash is just so social. Like, you are playing and grinding, but so are like 15 people that chats and discords are lively. There's always people chatting, there's always people playing, there's always games going on. It's so popular and still is popular, even though it feels like the game is dying. The community around it, in terms of ones that you can reach and feel and touch and speak to, is as big as it has ever been, and hopefully will continue to be so, because that's probably one of the main things that Smash. So kind of that's why I stopped playing, was coming to the realization that I didn't enjoy it, and to move on from it it's a really, really, really hard decision because I did such great fun.
I think everybody who's probably listening to this can sort of relate to the fact that you've got those people who you sometimes talk to like an hour or two, you're either playing with them or you're like discussing matchups or ideas or concepts, and you're like, what if we tried this? Or you go to someone, like, oh, what am I going to do about this? And the other person's like, maybe you've tried this, and I think, like you said, that is one of the great parts of Smash. Like, the community is so good, and it's difficult. Do you plan on going to any events, just not particularly as a competitor, but or do you see yourself going just to see friends and things? Because that's like the worry, because some people might have. It's like, if I stop Smash, where are my friends? Where are my social like things? What's your feeling on that?
Well, let's go with the word retired, right? I hate that word because it's not particularly applicable.
It
I use
feels
the word. I use the word retire because, like,
feels like a job.
It feels like a job. Like, what the word is career, right? Career, right? Okay, this idea that like I think your competition is like a career, just like any other sport. I don't think esports should be treated any differently from any other sport that we play physically, whether it's chess or any kind of football, any kind of athletics. It's still a sport, and I think the sports apply to it. So you can kind of have a career. And retirement for me was just, I'm never not going to pick up the game again. Are you kidding me? I've got so much I've got time, thousands of hours spent in this game because it's fun and I enjoy it very, very much. I'm never going to play the game again, of course. But for me, it was just, I don't want to play the game competitively anymore. I don't want to actively improve or really care about my result in a tournament specifically. So if there is a big event on the South Coast, I am there no matter what. Right? If it's a Mania, I'm there. If it's a Battleborn, I'm there. If it's anything else, I will be there, no doubt, because the game is still fun. I still enjoy the game. I just don't want to compete in it, and that competing is just actively improving, actively get better, looking at your mistakes, doing VOD reviews, thinking about this matchup. And when you play in a retirement aspect, like, you can still, it's almost more enjoyable on some level because you don't have that pressure to compete, so you can get that social aspect. And like, just because you retire from Smash doesn't mean you can't not go to your local and have a good time or mess around on a random character. Like, I'll still pop round or do something like that, but it just lose that pressure. I don't have to go you just won't see me every single week. I'll go whenever I feel like, which is probably a good idea in competition anyway, to be honest. So yeah, I'll still be there. I'll still play. I'll still join. I look in the chat and I see nothing but trips to Weatherspoon. But I was kind of, I was kind of haunted a little bit, and it's completely irrelevant. It really isn't. But I am now 30, and
So
there are 17. And exactly, a young boy in the Street Fighter world. Whereas like 17, 16, like Mashu is a new player to Bournemouth, and I was giving him a lift home, thinking nothing of it. He's 16. I'm 14 years older than he is, and I'm giving him a lift home. Doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's passionate people about a game. But Sarah said to me when I was going to play Street Fighter, I was, "Oh, it must be nice to play people your age." I was like, right, okay. And then it kind of hit the nail on the head that, right, okay, yeah, I have a job and 4 requirements, and yeah, that's kind of right. Yeah, maybe I should probably pay people my age because
I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't. No, of course it doesn't matter. But some youthful people are certainly,
anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, but obviously the competitive aspect of the game is that you said that younger players, I think personally, have an advantage in this game, specifically for Smash, because of the amount of time they have, because of their energy and their passion, their dedicated levels. It's just about raw numbers.
I think that can be said for any game, but the thing is with. I'll get to my retirement journey in a minute, but I just want to speak on this because obviously I've been playing. I'm quite different to at least to Craig. Don't know too much about Vyrus, but I've been playing and following sort of the Street Fighter scene for a long time. And the thing with Street Fighter that makes it kind of different to Smash is that there's a lot of legacy skill in most other fighting games. You try to get into Tekken, you try to get into Street Fighter, you try to get into KOF or any of these other, like Mortal Kombat, any of these other really big fighting games. They don't really change much entry to entry. I don't think you can say the same for Smash. Every Smash game is very different. The exception being, I think, 4 to Alt. They're very similar games, but
yeah, I think
for the most part, compared to like Melee to Brawl or Melee to or as far as Smash games go, they're very different game to game. Most Street Fighters aren't like that, which is why you still see these big players like Daigo, like Justin Wong, like anyone that kind of knows the FGC knows these people. They're still doing really well to these days because they've been playing the game so damn long. And when you want to enter the competitive scene nowadays, you really have to grind that matchup knowledge. You have to be able to do all of these really funny named techs that people aren't heard of. Like if you go up to a Smash player and you say, "Do you know what a fuzzy tech is?" They're gonna look at you like you've got fucking feet on your head. Like I think obviously everyone in the Smash community knows what like an L cancel is or what like because they're kind of I don't know. I'm kind of going on a tangent, but I think there's just a lot more legacy skill in traditional fighting games, and that's why players are generally older and stick around a lot longer than most Smash Bros do.
I mean, hang on, I was the one who told you about fuzzies.
Yeah, because I followed Street Fighter, but I wasn't really in the competitive scene, was I? I'm just as new as you guys are.
It's out now, isn't it? Wu's been like,
no.
Over his shoulders, like.
He is a better player than me. I can't lie.
Thank you. To be fair, I only knew about fuzzies because before Street Fighter 6 came out, I had been playing Dragon Ball at a high level, but not competitively for about 2 to 3 years.
I think if you tried to play competitively, you could have.
I never got to enter a tournament.
No, but you didn't get the chance to. But I think if you tried, you could have done.
Yeah, who knows? There's time. It was UFA this year, right?
Please come to UFA. Everyone, Smash player, fighting game player, come to UFA. I promise you, it's worth the money.
I would love to.
I will scream it from the heavens.
If it was in November, like it was last year,
I'll be there.
I would have been able to go, but they moved it.
he's on brand.
I'm wearing the hoodie, bro. It's fresh out the wash.
I can't go.
Unplanned as well.
Yeah, I think the reason that I got off to a flying start with Street Fighter was having the Dragon Ball experience.
Yeah, certainly helped.
Like, it helped me a hell of a lot. And if you are a Dragon Ball player looking to play Street Fighter, play JP. He's the most similar feeling.
And he's a top tier.
He is also a top tier.
He's also very good.
He is very good. I kind of want to contradict Wu in a little bit in terms of saying that, like, I agree with what he's saying at top level. However, we see plenty of young players, like, what's that UK player who's 17?
Oh, Ending Walker.
18?
Yeah, obviously there are always exceptions to the rules, obviously, but generally...
Yeah, there are exceptions to the rules, but it's not this kind of game where you can, like, everyone you are going to play on I'd say it's mostly top level that have the legacy experience and advantage. Your average player, your average tournament, your average local in the UK, you will come up with people who've been there years, but it's not like it's this impenetrable fortress where the people who are in bronze have been playing for years. I
don't want to scare people off,
Don't scare people off, no, especially someone because it is scary. Like, this idea of playing this game is quite scary. As somebody who's only played a little bit of, I played Virtua Fighter 2 when I was like 7, and I have a copy of Tekken Tag Tournament on the PS2 downstairs. That is about the extent of my fighting game area of expertise. So this is my first proper fighting game.
Yeah.
So
and you're doing very well.
Thank you. But one of the reasons why I am doing so well, obviously, is because of my years in Smash. For a start, like, I think a lot of that has transferred over. I've learned a lot about the fundamentals of fighting games. We tried to apply them to Smash. In my opinion, Smash tends to break a lot of them or bend them to kind of distort them slightly. Traditional FGCs like Street Fighter honor them very fundamentally. So I did already have an understanding of the game. But when I was talking about young players versus older players in terms of raw time, in my opinion, with the latest generation of fighting games like Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 that's just come out, the ability to get better from a chair in your home compared to Smash is, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to get better on your own in Street Fighter than it is for Smash, because in Smash you got to travel. You got to spend £100 on trains, especially in this country. You got to travel the whole world, hours, like 4 or 5 hours of travel time, then all day playing, then hours of traveling back. You've got to go to your local every single week. The online is terrible. there is no one who's still proponenting that the idea that online is good in any way, shape, or form. It's not. It's really not. And playing another fighting game, especially a modern one, will show you just how unbelievably bad it is, unacceptable. The game gives you no tools to actually help you, teach you how to play a character. This is one of the things when I joined Street Fighter that was like, okay, I like this character, Luke. I like him. How do I? Okay, here's a guide on how to play the character. Here are combos on how to do the character. Smash has this in terms of like explains the mechanics to you, but does anyone actually know where it is? Does anyone here in this chat actually know where it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think
What character?
There's it tells you about fast fall, where it tells you about
really.
to
Oh,
grab
those
and
the
pieces.
tips that come up between games. There's a way to get
There,
like
yeah,
into
there,
the
yeah,
whole
there is
book.
there is a way
and
to
I
look
don't
at
know
the like the
where it
glossary
is.
of tips, but I couldn't tell you where it was.
It is in the if you open it's when you press the bumper and you get the side black menu that comes out.
Oh, I
In the
forget that
help
exists.
section under so that's the sub menu, and then another sub menu has a list of 114 different techniques, and you have to go through every single one, and it has a little video and a wall of text showing you what it is.
I think though, as you were saying, things like even Melee, you know, there's a lot of stuff online, and obviously,
Yeah, but I think that's what we're
Sticky
saying
for
though, right? Is that you
example, is
have
what
to
I'm
go
saying,
and
yeah.
look for it. Like the information for Smash is definitely out there. I won't dispute that. But a
definitely
lot
it
of
is,
the
yeah.
stuff that Craig I think was trying to get at is that it's baked into the Street Fighter, like the game itself, right? You can have no access to internet. You can go to your local game shop. You can pick it up. You can come home, play it with no internet, no outside resources, no help, and you can like figure out like the basics of how to play a character. You can't really learn the basics of how to play Street Fighter at a competitive level, really. Like, it won't really... Does it really teach you what footsies are? Not really.
There's a little bit of idea with
It won't
fire,
really
but-
tell you, like, how to get out of the corner or how to manage your drive gauge. But
Yeah,
it will teach
there's-
you, like, how to play a character, how to do combos, things like that.
so if I play Smash now, I say I want to play Mario. I think I've seen him in tournament. He's quite cool. How do I play this character? I come out of the game that I paid for and go on YouTube and rely on the community member to make the game for me specifically. The information is out there. I was just saying that as someone who is thirsty and wants to spend a lot more time at home and work a full shift and come home and do stuff on the weekend, etc. For me personally, it's a lot easier for me to sit and play Street Fighter for an hour or two online, and then that's it, and I'm done. I'm happy. If I played Smash for an hour or two every couple of days, and then go to a tournament and then play all day, I can't do it anymore. I'm an old man. I just can't do it.
yeah, I mean,
If that makes some kind of sense.
I still think it's possible to become quite good. Obviously, not with limited time, but like age doesn't stop Smash. As we've seen, age does not stop Smash players doing anything. You know, even in Melee, like, you know, Hungry Boxer's, you know, been playing for like 20 odd years or whatever, however long he's played, and you know that you still see new players come into the top 10, top 50, top 100. So, yeah, I think,
Of course,
I think as with everything, like once you have that knowledge for the game, once you have that motivation for the game, that's when you start to take outside. And you know, if you wanted to play Mario, you messing around with him, and then you watch Kurama and he does the ladders, and you're like, I want to do that too, and then you go from there, really. So
I think sorry to keep cutting you off, Tom. I'm not doing it on purpose, I promise. I think the big difference for me is that I think the amount of times that I've heard someone new to the Smash community say, "Oh yeah, no, I've been playing Smash Online for years. I just didn't really know that tournaments existed." That is a really common sentiment that I hear in the community, as a TO especially, and I'm always talking to like the new guys that show up, right? They're like, "Oh yeah, no, I've been playing Elite Smash since the game came out. I just never really thought to go to an event, you know." And then they're actually like decently good, you know, they've got their combos on lock and stuff. They've like put some effort in. I think the Smash community as a grassroots community with like our tournaments and Discord servers and stuff, I think is really hard to I say really hard. It's harder to discover than something like Street Fighter, because there's always, fighting game tournaments are just a thing that I think most people understand exist, right? Like, you can go into the game itself and there's like a tournament mode, and they're always saying like Capcom Cup streaming this and this weekend, or
Yeah, I mean, like, I knew about Justin Wong and Daigo and Evo way before I even knew anything about competitive Smash.
exactly, yeah. Like, even
Because
when I was
I'd
a kid,
just seen it on the internet,
yeah,
and it was, yeah.
and
Well, that's
obviously,
mainly-
and like that, I think that's going to transfer to the idea of like, oh, if I get good at this game, I can compete in tournaments and stuff, and then that's then bolstered by the stuff that you can actually access in game as well. I think that it all kind of like feeds into itself.
But it's maybe also for the fact that like Smash, like for example, when you play Street Fighter, the base of the game is 1 versus 1. That is the game. That's been the game for 35 years. You versus someone else, competition to win.
Yeah.
Smash is and always has been and always will be designed as a fighting game that anyone can play. It attracts an extremely casual audience. You don't play it to get competitive in it. We just discover it. And as that design, it's knocked it out of the park.
Oh, it is 100%.
It's so good for that.
It's such a good party game that people don't call it a fighting game. That's how good at being a fun, casual experience it is. It is the best by far.
Well, definitely, yeah. It is without a doubt, and that's kind of how we all kind of get in, because we're the best of our friends. We find out about a tournament, we go
we
0-2, and then you're there for the next 4 or 5 years because you've caught the bug. You've caught the bug specifically.
That's something I wanted to kind of want to know about Tom, because the first memories I've got of Tom was Toku coming up to me and going like, "Cam, you've got to go to the Southampton Weekly this week. This guy's turned up and he's just washing everyone. And he just calls himself Tom."
Yeah, that's right. So me and Cam, right, we've been around in the scene longer than Tom has. So this story hasn't actually been told on the podcast yet. So Mr. QualiT Thomas over here, right? The Southampton locals used to be run by a guy called Focus Miss, and again, you London guys will know him. He's been in the game as long as I have. So when he was at university and here in Southampton, he used to run the locals, and we were a close-knit group. There was like 10, maybe 12 of us. It wasn't a very large local. And one week, this guy called Tom signs up on the challenge bracket, and we're like, he's probably just some new university student, right? We'll seed him low. He'll be all right. We'll introduce him. He'll have a good time. Maybe he'll come back next week. And I'm just chatting with Toku and Vyrus. I'm like, "Oh, Woo, your semi-finals match is up." And I'm against, "Oh, yeah, who am I against?" "Oh, this new guy called Tom. He's a Simon player. No one's ever heard of him before, but he's really good." I'm the Inkling player. Easy matchup. I'll edge guide him a couple of times. Absolutely slaps me straight into losers. Wins the whole event. No one's ever heard of this guy before. And it's like, I sit down, it was no one had ever heard of him before. It was so funny. And now here he is a few years later running his own podcast, acting like he owns the place. Despicable.
Jeez.
Absolutely comes out of nowhere.
I mean, I was much the same, I just used to play Elite Smash, and I knew of competitiveness because I've been playing every Smash game, not competitively, but I've played every Smash game because I'm old enough to have been alive when they were out, right? I was playing Smash 64 when I was 8 years old. No, not even 8 years old, like 6 years old. It came out in like 1996. So maybe like 5-6 years old I was playing, and my brothers were beating me, and then we played Melee when it came out. I got the GameCube, put that Melee disc in. I loved playing Roy because he had red hair and he had fire. So I was like, I love Roy.
I was a Roy enjoyer.
And then Brawl came out, and I was like, I played Diddy Kong because I loved Donkey Kong Country 2, one of my favorite game ever, and I loved it. And I also played Olimar because I loved Olimar. I love Pikmin, and I played Ike because where's Roy? Roy went, and again just beat my brothers over and over again. Beat my friend who came round, and Smash 4 came out. And I played it. I played a bit of Full Glory, but I had real life stuff to do. And then I came back to it about, I think, a year after, it was getting patched, updated. And then I don't know how. I think I found some tournament online, and it was like an American regional. I think it was VG Boot Camp. And obviously they used to play like Smash at Xanadu's on whatevers, and I was watching these guys play, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. But I didn't know about UK scene at this point. All I saw was America. And I just kept logging into VG Bootcamp, and then I got Reddit, and I was like, oh, I wonder if anybody plays Smash Brothers on Reddit. Oh, there's thousands of people who play Smash Brothers, and they were like, oh, this new upcoming tournament, and then we learned about Redacted and his 52 win streak, and then the other Redacted who ended it, and then you had all these sagas, and then I was like, oh, I'm really excited, and then I started to get into it because I found a player called Denobro who was like a duck hunt player over in America, and I randomly ran into him online, and I got annoyed because I lost. I played Game & Watch in that character, and I would just kept forward airing into his shield, and you've played Smash 4, you could just shield grab that for days. And so I got shield grabbed, and I was like, oh, I'm really annoyed. How do I beat this guy? So then came my arc, really. I was just super interested. And then obviously Ultimate came out, and I was fully into Ultimate, but I didn't know the UK scene. Just kept playing online. I was Corin main to start off with Pokemon Trainer, because Pokemon Trainer was cool and Tweak was winning, I think, most things, because just used to do down throw up air, and I was like, I can do that. And I could down throw up it. Not up air, down throw up B. I could do that, and I did, and I got really good. And then I was like, Corin, not doing this. And one day, and I was like, I wonder what happens if I go to Google and type in Smash Southampton. Oh! Like lots of challenge things came up, and a Facebook group came up, and then I joined it.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history, really, And thankfully, I did really, really well at my first event, and I was like, I haven't got anything else to do. I'll just keep going. Really. But yeah, it's really interesting how, but it's difficult because there's nothing in the game that tells you about locals. If there was a local in Smash 4, because I was living in Portsmouth at that time, because that was my home and I had loads of free time, I probably would have gone, but on reflection, I probably wouldn't have stuck around, because I know that Smash 4 was full of Bayonettas. I know that Smash 4 in Portsmouth had a few Bayonettas.
We didn't really have a lot of Bayos. We had a lot of Clouds for sure. We had we had 4 Clouds. Al was really the only good Bayo in Portsmouth back then.
That would have tilted me off the face of the earth.
It was just Al.
It was just a different game back then, where those characters were, we say pay to win now. Clown, Bayonetta, they were pay to win. You couldn't do anything. Especially if you weren't savvy about the game. You can't. It's hard enough to deal with back air spam in this game, let alone Cloud in Smash 4, whose back air is about twice as big.
It was Nair as well. Nair was
disgusting. Nair that was the problem.
Nair was disgusting in that game.
And he kept limit forever, and then it was just So I think if I joined in Smash 4, I probably wouldn't have gone back. So it was very, very fortunate for me that I just happened to. It was the right time for me. So that's just how it happened. But Woo, what was your journey? Because we've talked about Vyrus's and Craig's journey. How's things affecting you? I don't see you at locals nowadays. So do you miss it? What's going on with you?
I mean, my relationship with Smash has always been kind of weird. So obviously I've been playing the game a long time. So the biggest pushes that I ever really made to improve was really early Smash Ultimate. So we didn't really have any locals around the Smash 4 era. So I only really attended the Portsmouth Monthlies back then. And like I say, I was really the only person around me. Because I was quite young. I was maybe 13, 14, something around there when we were playing Smash 4. And none of my other friends were really interested in it. They didn't really like it because obviously we came up from PM, right? And PM was a lot faster, a lot more technical. So I was really the only person. So I didn't really get much done in Smash 4. So no one really knew who I was. But when Ultimate came around, that's when I really played the game most, was like the first couple of years of Ultimate. And we enjoyed it so much in our uni house that obviously we started the locals. And I was sort of like a top 8, sort of 9th place contender back then. I helped out the Wave Smash team really early on. But as the game has dragged on in the later years and I've grown up as a person, I've had to take on more real life responsibility. So the game really took a back foot sort of years 3, 4 and 5 of Ultimate. And I really should have dropped the game a long time ago because I wasn't really practicing at home. Like, I wasn't really attending many out of region events. I was kind of just turning up to the local to turn up, say hi to people, play Smash and go home again. And I wasn't really enjoying it. I wasn't placing well, which made me upset. And I probably should have stopped playing about then. But what really made me stop is I just wasn't really having fun with the game anytime I was playing it. Because at least when I was still competing, I was like traveling with my friends all the time. Like, I was carpooling with like Craig, with Tom, with all these people going to like out of region events. And that's when I was really enjoying the game. Like, when I was just hanging out with my friends, I wasn't really going because I was having fun with the game. I was going because I was having fun with the friends I'd made around the game. And then any time that I'd just go to the locals or whatever, I wasn't really having fun. I wasn't practicing at home still, like, it just wasn't, like, I wasn't playing the game, really. And then I tried to kind of see if I could get that fire back by switching character. Anyone that doesn't really know me, I'm, like, a really heavy character loyalist. Like, once I found my character in a fighting game, that is the only character I will play, like, for the whole of the game's lifespan. So, I've been playing Inkling. I've had like dips where I've played other characters for a bit, but I always end up coming back to Inkling, right? So I've been playing the character for like 4 years, 5 years. So when I felt my sort of competitive spirit going out, I tried picking up Joker for like 6 months, and I was having fun with it, a lot of fun with it. But then again, like, I started kind of petering out my practice at home again. I stopped having fun like when I was losing. And again, I just stopped playing the game again. And then obviously Street Fighter 6 came out, and like Craig very much said, like, the fire really returned. Like, I was playing the game loads, I was playing online. Like, I bought a new controller specifically for the game because my old fight stick was dying. And I just really felt that fire return. And I still go to the locals to play Street Fighter. But when I did try entering Smash a couple of times, but I just don't really enjoy playing the game much anymore. And I think the thing that really gates me from enjoying Smash loads is how many characters there are in the game. So I am I have a really bad mindset in that I have a way that I think the game, quote unquote, should be played. And it's a really, really bad way to think about the game. So any characters that are like really gimmick heavy or, quote unquote, again, don't play the game properly, really get under my skin. So like your Pac-Mans, your DDDs, like your really gimmicky characters that don't really like to play what I call honest neutral. Again, it's a really terrible mindset. Do not emulate it. I promise you, you will only hate yourself.
Especially in Smash.
They're all over the place.
Especially again in the UK where you have lots of those types of characters, like your Meat Swords, your DDDs, your fucking whatever.
I think especially on the South Coast, you
yeah.
just picked up this.
Yeah.
If you moved to the North, you would be in your element.
Mate, if I could move to America where it's just Palu, Wolf, Aegis, I'd be loving life. I tell you what. Because we had Solots on a couple of weeks. He understands my pain now. I was so refreshing producing that episode, man. I could feel his anger. It was so good. So yeah, that's like my awful mindset I have. And I went to UFA, obviously, big ups, go to UFA. And I played against a really good French Pac-Man, and I just got so upset. Like, I took them to game 3, but I've not really played against Pac-Man much. And that matchup is not good for Inkling because Roller doesn't really work because of Fire Hydrant. And I just got so upset. Like, and it's just like, if you're not having fun playing the game, why are you playing it, right? So I just, yeah, I was in the Street Fighter came out and I was having fun with it, and I just have no desire to play Smash anymore, basically. Like, I've been playing the game 10 years, like, I'm just kind of done with it. Like, that's not to say, like, when Smash 6 comes out, I won't give it another go, but I'm at the point where I've kind of made my peace with it. I don't really want to attend locals. I don't want to play friendlies. I just don't want to play the game anymore, to be honest. I've kind of had enough. 5 years is enough for me. 10 years is enough for me, I think, for now.
I think, I mean, for a lot of people, and I speak from personal experience with other games when I was younger, especially, not so much now, that Smash is their only thing.
Yeah, see, that's never really been the case for me. Sorry to interrupt you, Craig, but I do know a lot of people like that as well. And I think that is a really unhealthy way to approach competitive games. I think if you're playing 40 hours a week, it's the only thing you play. Like, you don't play any single player. You don't hang out with your Smash friends outside of Smash. You don't do anything else. You are going, again, we have talked about it on the podcast before, but you do start to associate your personality and your self-worth, even in the worst of times, with how you play the game. And I don't think that's healthy at all. And I try to steer some people I've talked to about this away from that mindset. Like, you know, play even because I'm a very competitive person, right? I play a lot of competitive games like League of Legends, TFT, Street Fighter, Smash. Like, I play a lot of competitive stuff. Even if it's just other competitive games, play something else. I promise you'll feel so much better about yourself and about how you view the game if you do other things. Like, it's just not healthy.
Definitely agree with that.
Even like the top players who Smash is their job, right?
Yep.
That they make their living from Smash. You know,
Yep.
you're like your Lights, your Leos, I suppose.
Anyone that follows Tweak on Twitter will see he has a thread of the games he's finished that year that he updates every time he finishes a game. Like, even the top players, you're well said, Tom, even the top players do other things.
Yeah, a lot of them are personally into the gym because, you know...
Lights arms are huge.
Exactly! Like, if you look at that, then definitely does not skip gym day. So, like, yeah, and obviously the Switch and the other games of consequences, video gaming is just a good hobby in general, isn't it? Something you can do whenever, wherever. You know, you don't need anybody else to do it. You can just be like, oh, I want to play this today, so I'm going to. You know, I personally have other things going on. I spend at least a day or two a week with my girlfriend just doing something else. That's our rule. At least one day, no Smash. So I will pester her 6 of the other 7 days about Smash things. But there's one day a week. Oh, you should say it. I home pop off over Wi-Fi. And if she's in the room, what I'll do is I'll run over to her and I'll give her a play-by-play and explain why my play was really, really good. And she just rolls her eyes and she's like, I cannot wait for non-Smash day. Right? Like, you know, I'm allowed to video game and like I do that or go out and things, but yeah, I would just not. Blink twice. Blink twice. You know, but so. Yeah, I mean, you know, I do still talk about Smash with other people when I'm on Discord for those days, but I generally will just try and do something else. And yeah, when you're frustrated with the game, as happens to all of us, you know, you need to have something to step away to, and just do for fun. Because I'm much like you. This is my competition. Like, I play this game to compete, and I play it to better myself. In something, right? That's why I get up every day. No, it's not why I get up every day.
Every day
your
I
partner,
get up.
man. I get up to play Smash.
I get up to play
in the morning. I'm at the gym and playing Smash.
I've got my Switch like on the
baby.
I rest the Switch on the little thing, and I got my Joy-Cons in my hand.
You're like that little Mac player that's got like the boxing gloves.
You're ready for it.
Literally.
But yeah, like that's what I compete in, and I'm always competing in something. But then I also have something that I play just for fun to step away from it. It's just like, you know, because sometimes, yeah, I want to compete and I want to sweat and I want to try hard, but you've got to balance it with I just want to relax and chill out and play something else. So yeah, absolutely.
Do you agree with that, Vyrus?
Oh yeah, like the big thing is if you are just playing your one competitive game for your 40-hour week or whatever, you're going to burn out. Burning out fucking sucks. It's awful. It's the worst thing I've ever experienced.
Yeah, and I think everybody who's played, especially a game this long, has sort of dealt with burnout. You know, even myself. Weeks off of weeklies, I just said, look, I just need a break, because you know when you're playing the same game over and over and you're playing it so much, you are just going to be like, can't be bothered. It's like, think about something else that I can do for just a little while. Breaks are healthy, and I think that's something that we should do. Like, again, I'm going to use the top players, but like, to get on my level this week, and I'm going to double down the week after, and it's just like, you are going to just absolutely burn out. So I think a lot of them are coming into it like, I will go to a major like once a month or something, or you know, once or twice a month max. So
I think it's good for your play as well, right? Because obviously what I've experienced, obviously it's different for everyone, but the longer time that I play for without really stopping, the worse habits I develop. I find that my autopilot, no matter what game I'm playing, my autopilot gets so much worse the longer I play a game without taking breaks. If I'm playing the same game every day, even if it's just a couple of days a week for long stretches of time, I really get myself into like a rhythm where I'm always doing the same things. I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing. I'm not playing to improve. I'm getting more upset when I lose. And then you take a break for a couple of weeks, couple of months, you come back and you're a lot fresher. Your mind is awake. You're like playing to learn again, and you just find yourself playing and feeling better. So like, obviously, I think this is something that, again, I've really only done in the last few years of playing competitive games. I've been playing competitive games, like, a long time. I used to be awful. Like, I used to play League of Legends 8 hours a day, 5 days, like, 7 days a week for years straight. And I just didn't go anywhere on the rank ladder because I just wasn't playing properly. Like, I was just going through the motions. I wasn't playing to improve. I wasn't learning anything. Like, I was consuming, like, teaching content, but none of it was going in. It was going in one ear, out the other. Like, you really need to understand how you learn and how you play at your best and play to that. Like, a good example of this is obviously me and Craig. We're both really playing a lot of Street Fighter at the moment. Craig is a grinder. My man loves to play the fucking game. Like, he's always hounding me like, get on Street Fighter, get on Street Fighter. I've got so much stuff to show you. I've been practicing. And I play in really short, concentrated bursts. So I'll play maybe 2-3 times a week tops. Usually I'll only play once a week or 2 times a week if I'm going to a local. I'll play like a couple of days before and then the local. But I'll play for like 3 to 4 hours of like really focused play. I'm going to play practicing exclusively this one thing and nothing else. Like, I don't care if I win, don't care if I lose. I'm just going to practice this one thing in training room or in rank matches. And then as soon as I'm tired, I'm going to stop playing and do something else. And that's just how I understand that I work best. And it's different for everyone. But I think understanding how you learn and how you play best is really important to growth.
It was the worst thing you'd ever experienced. Like, really?
Yeah, it was so bad.
It is, honestly.
Like, if you are thinking, oh, it can't be that bad, you haven't experienced burnout yet, and it is coming, and it will beat your ass.
Weak ass mentality.
Like,
is all I hear. Should
so
grind harder.
The whole backstory for this is Wu got me into Street Fighter, and then I was like, oh yeah, this game's actually pretty fun.
I'm guilty of both of these creatures being addicted to Street Fighter. By the way,
maybe I'll keep going. Maybe I'll keep playing it, and then I go home and I'm like, I don't own Street Fighter. I've just been
that's
playing.
right, because you played it around my house first, right?
Yeah.
And you messaged me like, I want to keep playing Street Fighter.
I'm like, I get paid very soon. I get Woo to buy me the game and just send him the money on payday. And I, like, for the next 2 weeks until I got paid, my shifts at work were, okay, right, I need to look up JP frame data in between customers. I'm going to watch JP VODs. I'm going to do all this. And then I get home and I play Street Fighter for 8 hours and then pass out. And I'm like, oh, this is so healthy. I'm having so much fun. And
You were having fun. You were having incredible fun.
This kept going until I hit like Diamond 4. And I'm like, okay, I've just completely relearned the game. Just a little push and then I'll get to Master. And I'm going to the weeklies, I'm getting second every time. I'm playing really well at the weeklies, and I come home and I'm like, okay, heavy punch, quarter circle forward, heavy punch. Woo, I'm doing the same thing every
It's
fucking
taken
game.
you thousands of hours to learn that combo.
JP's brain dead until he's not.
It's actually surprisingly difficult in terms of the combos and bits and pieces that you can do.
The thing with JP, he's low skill. I've been saying this for ages. He's low skill floor. He's high skill ceiling. Like the amount you can do with JP is so huge, but that's not what we're talking about here. I'm not selling you on JP. And I hit Master.
No,
I
have some standards.
I finally hit Master, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking look at this game. I don't want to watch content. I don't want to learn. I don't even know if I want to go to the weekly. I'm just done. And
Completed the
I'm
game.
like, I love this game, but I don't want to look at it right now. It took me, I think, maybe 2-3 months to grind from 0 Street Fighter knowledge to Master, and I stopped playing for 2 months. I'm like, okay, I'll go to a weekly, and then my controller stops working, so I stopped playing the game for another month until I got a new controller. Then I came back and, everyone's catching up to me, and it's exciting to go to the weeklies again, not just because I've taken that break and gotten over borderline burning myself out to the point I didn't want to play the game anymore.
Yeah.
Which was not healthy at all. And
how long did it take you to get to Master?
About 3 months.
Shit, I'm on plan.
Bear in mind, though, like we said earlier.
Again, I have a lot of other fighting game experience. I'm playing.
I played Smash for 5 years. That's a proper fighting game.
same.
Hardest fighting game in the world.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
It is.
There's a lot more to
100%.
think
Yeah,
about.
Smash
doubt
is
in
the
my
hardest
mind
fighting game to
whatsoever.
play.
The hardest thing in the world. Wu said to me, he said, how many Smash players do you know that move over to fighting games and do well? Leffen's the big one. Riddle's doing it right now. How many traditional FGC see playing Smash?
Oh, I can answer this. Wawa, who at the time was the best Dragon Ball player in the world, DQ'd from Dragon Ball at UFA, and I think it was 2021, 2022, and went 2-2 in Smash.
Yo, 2-2.
That's nice. Isn't Riddle getting top 8 in both?
Yeah.
Riddle's
Didn't Leffen win tournaments? Didn't Leffen do Dragon Balls?
Leffen has
Yeah,
won.
Leffen
Leffen has won
has
tournaments
won
in.
Evo.
He's won tournaments in Melee, in Ultimate, in Dragon Ball Fighters, in Guilty Gear. He won Evo in Guilty Gear, in fact, twice.
I believe he's also the only player to have ever won a Smash title and a fighting game at Evo.
Yes, he won
Which is
Melee
a
and Guilty
crazy
Gear in the
accolade.
same
I
year.
wonder if there's something like a triple crown or something winning all three. Or something like that.
Justin Wong has won Evo in multiple titles in a year, multiple different fighting games in a year, but that guy is just built so disgustingly different, it is beyond belief.
Yeah.
But he's
I
not
think-
one Smash.
No, but
Not one Smash.
yeah,
He's-
you could if you tried, I bet.
I mean, that's the main thing, though. Sorry, obviously, not to list too many more of Leffen's accolades.
I think that's all of them. Anyway.
That's probably it. Is that if you can play Smash competitively to a decent level and you have some aspects of fundamentals, you can play another fighting game.
We
You
can talk about this now,
Honestly,
actually.
You
like,
really can Street Fighter. I mean, especially modern fighting games.
Cam's googling Leffen's accolades.
Cam's
in the
googling right now.
background.
How
I
many
mean-
Leffen's accolades?
I mean, I will tell you that with no previous Street Fighter experience whatsoever, I managed to beat Kitfist Ken with Zangief after about 3 games.
For all your Street Fighter players, it was modern Keith, to be fair, but he did
No,
do
it
it. He
wasn't.
did.
Oh, Keith was
Yes,
doing
it
it.
was. It was modern Keith. Oh no, it wasn't, was it?
It
No,
wasn't
because
modern.
you were spinning.
He
the
was
stick
actually
around.
doing.
No, you're right. Yeah, you did.
He
You did
was
beat Kitfist
literally-
Ken on Geef. You did.
with
I forget.
literally zero experience. And Kitfist, like he plays Ken in Smash Ultimate because he plays Street Fighter, and I beat him.
No, he
with
played
zero
Smash
experience.
first and then played Street Fighter because of Ken. He played Ken in Street Fighter first. In Smash first, sorry. But for Tom's ego, we'll say he was a Street Fighter player.
I tell you who else is ridiculously good at fighting games on the South. Trundle. Alice is really good.
She plays Guilty Gear, right? I think she's a Guilty
Yeah.
Gear player, yeah.
Yeah, she plays Guilty Gear. Obviously, she does really, really well in Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
She plays Guilty Gear. I think she also plays something else.
It's
plays-
Uni, I think.
I
She
think
plays.
it's-
It's either Uni or
No.
Multi Blood. It's one of the two.
Sorry, I wanted to make sure I wasn't giving misinformation. While I went 1-2 at UFA.
Ah, one and
Poor
two.
Wawa, bro.
Okay,
Wawa's my goat,
One and
though.
tour.
I
Who did you
love
That is the
Wawa.
best.
Who does he
Wawa,
Yeah, who
in
do you play?
Smash?
let me grab that for you because the sets actually made it to YouTube. Seth, he played Seth.
Who played Sephiroth?
It's cool. Seth, cool
I respect it. Seth's a cool
Character.
character.
particular. I mean, let's get into that. Like with people who Smash, who transitioned over to Street Fighter. So I'll start obviously with my perspective of never really playing it properly. Whenever anyone talked to me about Street Fighter, or any kind of fighting game, I immediately turned my brain off because I really did not care. I don't give a rat's about how bad your
Damn.
netcode is. I do not give a shit about your fucking training room because you see me a picture of it and all I see is fucking numbers all over the screen and it looks way too complicated and I turn my mind off. Where's my PS2? You don't do bands or stages. It's really, really weird. A quarter circle? What?
What the
sure-
fuck is a quarter circle?
What the fuck is a dragon punch? It's forward, down, forward again. But the game doesn't show it like that. It's an arrow, and then it's another arrow, and then it's an arrow. How on earth do you do that? No, turn my mind off completely. It's really unintuitive, and if you haven't played it before, it really feels unintuitive. However,
comma.
Street Fighter 6 has modern controls.
I
As
thought we
does,
were
I think,
talking about
Tekken
the
does.
similarities between fundamentals, not modern controls.
Well, we'll get into that in a minute. But the controls are the barrier to entry. Is why from my experience, why I didn't play Street Fighter because it looks way too fucking hard. Are you kidding me? I don't know how to do quarter circle inputs. I just want to press forward and press button. Like I don't want to do a weird wiggle and press a button. That's fucking weird. Why? I can't even believe that was even a thing, but it is a particular thing. But it leads me to modern controls because I think that's the main barrier to entry, and statistically, I think that it is because. So modern controls, I think Tekken has something similar to
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't.
special style. Yeah.
special
Does it?
style. Do anyone
Is that
else?
new to
Yeah.
8?
I just played
It's
I played Tekken 8 just this week gone. It's got special style that you can activate at any point during a match, and it gives you like it's on screen what the controls are. It's like you mash triangle for your air combo, square is your special button, R2 is your like super. And it's okay, I can see this all on screen, and then you can just tap L1 again and turn it off.
I don't know if any. I mean, even some other fighting games I know have ones where you can press a button to do the damage, but it has a longer cooldown. But if you do
Grangler
the
is the
special
big
motion
one.
input,
The new
you
big
get
one.
it off cooldown and things. There's other bits and pieces like that. My point is that in the modern day, it's never been easier, I think, to get into fighting games. So all modern controls do is they remove the circle inputs. So you don't have to do quarter circle forward. You don't have to do the weird shoryuken or double quarter circle half. You just hold a direction and press a button, and it will do it for you. It'll do it for you. The trade-off is that you do 20% less damage. That's it. That's the trade-off.
There's
There are
more.
other differences.
there's
We don't
more
need to get
nuance
into the
to it,
nitty-gritty.
but-
From that particular aspect, yeah, there are other areas that it changes, etc. But it's a very good way of getting you into the game. And if you look at Street Fighter statistics in terms of like the rookie levels, the people who are just starting out playing the game, and the lower levels and silvers, modern is everywhere. It's all over the game specifically because they are new people who are playing the game and getting in particularly. Now, Tom, I know you're built different and you don't need modern controls.
I mean,
You just
hi,
wiggle
thank
the
you.
circle and play Zangief.
Tom
I mean,
Zangief goes
Zangief's the thing.
crazy.
When I
I've
first
even
picked up
taught
Street-
him some new tech of jumping in while buffering the 360 input.
That's high level Zangief.
Because this man was
bro.
doing it on the ground every time.
Yeah, you were
with
doing it on
nothing
wake
happened.
up, right?
He was doing it like not just
Wake up DP. Yeah, I was
he
doing
would-
wake up DP.
He would also walk. He would also be. He was able to like walk up and do and then grab you. And I'm like,
I can't do that.
Read.
I almost beat a master player JP who may or may not be in the school. That matchup is so super bad.
I was giving you a fighting chance.
He was quaking in his boots.
I was very scared.
He mini popped off afterwards, and I was like, "Oh,
Just casually walked away. But that was the main barrier for entry for me, specifically, is I didn't like it. So I thought I'd give it a try and find out. And the fundamentals I learned from Smash, all of a sudden, just immediately kicked in. I don't know. We could probably we were first playing our game specifically. Empty land grab. Oh, okay. I can do that. The corner. I'd heard about this mystical thing that somehow existed. It's a freaking wall. You ain't going past that. You can't roll past me. You ain't jump air dodging. You ain't skipping, going the way around, or hero zooming. It's a wall. Okay, I've understood the corner from Smash. I know how this works. Keep them in there, bait them, punish, etc. Invade space, etc. I know that, and I was able to do that, and no grabs and stuff like that, and then I'd do the combos. And then I really enjoyed the game, and really fundamentally enjoyed everything about it. I love it so much. Me especially, as who's a competitor, I compete. That's why I play Smash. Similar to Tom, I love my friends that I've joined from the game. Don't get me wrong, I love the game, but fundamentally, I joined Smash to compete in Smash. That was my drive. That was my gauge. Is to play and compete. So, from joining another game that is built from the ground up to be competitive from the get-go, which Smash is not. It is not. We all agree that it's just not. Yeah. So in that particular environment, for me, who loves competition and competing, it was everything I could have possibly wanted from a game, because I have all the tools in front of me to get better. And the game is fundamentally very well balanced, etc. So that was kind of where the fundamentals came through. That if you play Smash and you feel like I can't play another fighting game because you can't do controls, they're not that difficult. Your fundamentals will transfer over, and just play Street Fighter with modern, or have a look at Tekken that just came out. That's great. People are having fun with that game particularly, and their own similar versions to it, to try it and see it and have fun. If you don't like it, fine, no matter. You'll go to Smash, but you might end up liking it and loving it, and there's nothing wrong with that. As your Smash era might end, but as one era ends, another one begins. It's not like you're going to be playing Smash or you're playing something else, and if that time is now, that time is now.
I'd also say like the mentality from Smash carries over a lot more than you would think it does.
100%. Yeah, that's a big
one. Because I don't know exactly how to phrase it in a way that would make sense to like a lot of people, but I go into every game and I try to play as absolutely fucking ignorant as I can. I do not care. I do not care what you are going to do. I'm doing my shit anyway, and you are going to get hit. And then if it happens that I did something very stupid and you didn't get hit, it's like, okay, well, I know that for next time, so I won't do that thing. But until you prove me wrong, I'm going to keep doing it. It's like just being able to like lock in and be like, okay, I've not played against this person before, gonna do my stuff. If they can deal with it, that's when I'll deal with it. It's one of the biggest things in fighting games that I don't see many people talk about. Just like, you gotta stick to your guns, stick to your game plan. And that's the biggest thing that Smash helped me to do in other fighting games.
You agreed, Wood. Did you have something else? Something maybe different?
Yeah, so I've got quite a lot to add here, I think. Because I've always been quite good at like the on paper side of Smash and Street Fighter. Like, I understand a lot of the like how interactions should play out and how things should work on paper, but I'm not very good at executing it in game. That's why I tend to stick to simpler characters like Inkling. I think there are drawbacks and like positives and negatives, I suppose, of the two differences. So I think the biggest difference and the most obvious one for anyone trying to get into Street Fighter from Smash is the combos. So with Smash, obviously you've got DI, you've got air dodges, you've got percentage differences. None of that matters in Street Fighter. You can, yes, but we won't talk about that.
I quite like being able to fall out of combos. Thank you very much.
Shut up.
You do
because
against
cry.
mine. You do against mine. Vyrus.
Yeah, so none of that happens in Street Fighter. If you get a hit, no matter, again, unless you're in the corner, but swings roundabouts. If you get a hit, you will be able to do the same combo off of that hit every single time. And that is really, really strange for a lot of Smash players, because we're so used to DI being a factor, percentage being a factor, where you are on the screen, have I got a platform, if they use their air dodge. So it's scaling, yeah.
Scaling. This game is complicated as fuck.
Smash is complicated, yeah.
It's really
so
complicated.
Being able to practice a combo in the training room and being able to replicate it every single time as long as you execute properly is huge. It's completely human error. If you fuck it up, it's your fault, right? There's nothing your opponent can do. Some people love that. Some people hate that. I personally absolutely love it. There's nothing more annoying to me as an Inkling player than, oh, I can only booyah you between percent 99 and 100 because you've got a 2-frame air dodge and your hitbox is the size of a pea.
This feels weirdly targeted.
I don't know what you're talking about. So that doesn't...
I'm all on board with this. Let him cook. Let him cook as far as
none of that matters in Street Fighter. If I hit you with my combo starter, you're getting comboed as long as I execute correctly. That's the biggest difference. Another big difference is obviously there's a lot less movement in Street Fighter. So in fighting games in general, unless you're playing something like Dragon Ball, obviously we're using Street Fighter here as the example because we're all Street Fighter players. But other fighting games this will apply to as well. Unless you're playing like an anime fighter like Dragon Ball or something, but now we're getting niche. In general though, a lot of fighting games still revolve around movement, but it's a lot more smaller increment movements. So where if you play like a swordy like Ma, for example, you might be used to micro spacing like your forward airs, your neutral airs, etc. That is required at higher level Street Fighter plays. You have to understand the range of all of your moves, you have to understand your frame data, and you need to be micro spacing around your opponents to be able to whiff punish effectively and get your combo started that way. At low level, a lot of your hits you're going to be getting from like jump ins or the big new flashy drive impact buttons that 6 has, but at the higher levels you're not going to get away with that. You need to be micro spacing and whiff punishing properly. So that's another aspect of Smash you can bring over, is like spacing and space control. So that's very important. And obviously, like Craig said as well, the corner is very big in a lot of traditional fighting games. It's a lot harder to get out of the corner in general. So like Craig alluded to earlier, you can't just roll past somebody, you can't double jump, you can't just air dodge. Like, you need to really work your way out of the corner. And it can be really frustrating for players that aren't used to it as well.
I think it's more like the lack of options to get out of the corner makes getting out of the corner more complicated.
Definitely, yeah.
And thinking about it, like, that's actually how you're supposed to get out of the corner in Smash. Like, a lot of people do try and cheat getting out of the corner, and that's when they get punished for it. And then that's what a lot of good players are looking for, whereas like being a lot more patient in the corner and just sort of either waiting for your opponent to overextend or waiting for your time to get out of the corner. I think that translates really over well. But yeah, Smash does kind of cheat because it allows you to like, double jump air dodge, or like, I'll just use my unreactable burst move.
The amount of times now that I have tried to double quick attack past Tom to get out of the corner, and he's just charging F smash in the opposite direction and killed me anyway.
That's another thing as
far
well.
Too many.
Is that it varies a lot again per character, which is another the biggest difference I think between Smash and Street Fighter. Well, I keep saying the biggest. Another really big difference is that there's not really as many I don't want to call them gimmicks, but unique character things like there is in Smash. Like, the biggest ones I can think of for Street Fighter is like Headbutt from Honda, or like Dulcim as a character, or like
Dulcim as the whole character.
Just the whole character Dulcim.
Pretty cool gimmick, to be fair.
He is a very cool gimmick, but that's why nobody plays him, is because he is so different. And obviously like Amnesia from JP, but that's like the main ones. There aren't really many super specific character, we'll call them mechanics, shall we say, Whereas you think Smash, I could list them forever. You've got like Pac-Man Hydrant, Pac-Man Fruit, DDD Gordo.
You just keep going with more Pac-Man stuff. Go on.
Yeah. Oh, can you tell I've played against Pac-Man before I quit? Like DK.
Boy, you've got no idea.
DK Punch. Like
You've got
there's
no idea about Pac-Man. This man played Pac-Man 2 times and he thinks he knows.
I hate that
It's
character,
my
bro.
toughest
Don't.
matchup, I've got no
yeah.
idea. 3 years.
I know,
okay?
I know.
played Pac-Man.
I-
And she told me it was even. Alison, if you're watching this, it's not even. I don't care. Falcon loses the matchup. I don't care if Fatality beat you at fucking boss battles. It don't matter. 3 years playing Pac-Man with a freaking hydrant and the damn fruit and bell.
But yeah, at least at the moment, there aren't loads of different unique character gimmicks that are like super like the gimmicks don't really define characters in Street Fighter for the most part. There are some, but they're not really that common in most fighting games, to be honest. Again, anime fighters are quite kind of
Very different beast.
yeah,
A lot of fun, but very different beast.
like Guilty Gear has a lot of kind of gimmicky centric characters. You've got like Happy Chaos, Bedman, that kind of thing. Nagoriyuki is quite. I'm limited Guilty Gear knowledge, so don't kill me.
Zato is a cool one.
From what I understand, Guilty Gear is quite like that. Dragon Ball is quite like that as well. But for the most part, most games aren't really like that. Like Smash is. I think those are like the main things. I think that like in terms of fundamentals will carry over. Don't know if you guys can think of anything else.
I think that once you've done something that's incredibly hard, doing something similar is a lot easier, shall we say? Like I think it's a very weird way of saying it, but Street Fighter, another more traditional, well, Street Fighter in particular, I get we're taking on it because it's the game we all play, right? Maybe we should get some other FGC players on here to comment, etc. But the game is quite simple. It's got a very strong, simple foundation. This beats that, which beats that. Nice,
Rock, paper,
simple, rock, paper, scissors. Smash is different because it has a 4th option, which is leaving the situation, or a 5th option. Which, no, generally it is. In Smash, you can play.
I'm laughing though because you're kind of right. Yeah,
I tell people like, oh, I don't know how to deal with like Sephiroth. Oh, he's just doing his forward air and pincing on the ledge. Okay, fine, just leave the ledge then. Well, I can't just let him go off the ledge. No, you can. If you don't like a situation, you just leave it. Change it. Go on a platform. Dash shield. Whatever. You don't like it, you can change the situation if you really want to. And guess what the Sephiroth player's going to do? They're going to get off the ledge and they get on the stage because they want to win. They want to hit you. That's that particular situation. But Street Fighter is a simple game. Strong foundation. A lot of skill built on top of it. It's nice, simple, it's clean. Smash is a lot more complicated and a lot harder. So when I was playing Street Fighter and moved over, I was like, wow, okay, this game is actually quite easy to understand. And I can get a lot better doing this, and there's a lot more in my control to get better. I mean, the amount of times that I have felt like I'm doing my best here and playing Smash and grinding it, and then it feels like sometimes I just lose because you just do. Something random interaction happens, or you get a matchup you've never played before, or I don't know, your controller's disconnect. You're just randomly at an event, and your controller
Kazi hits you with an electric.
Kazi hits you with like, your controller just disconnects. Oh, okay, fine. Or it just happens. You're just not happy that day specifically. Whenever anything goes wrong in Street Fighter, I know I can do better, and I know how to get better specifically, and like I can easily change it. It's totally within my control. Sometimes when we played Smash, it felt like some things weren't in my control. On a particular basis, maybe because of how many options there are to choose from.
Got thwacked at 0 by a hero.
Yeah, bits and pieces. Like, if you are a casual, that shit is so much fun. It's so unbelievably fun because no game is different. No game is the same. Smash we can play endlessly. I mean, how many times have we all played Elite Smash and you can't stop playing? Again, because it's so much fun. New match, new character, new everything. Fine, fantastic. Who cares about the last game? It doesn't matter. New matchup. Game is now completely freaking different, and now the last game doesn't matter. In Street Fighter, you don't really have that particularly, so it does transfer over.
I think it's a double-edged sword, right? Because some people really, really like that aspect of Smash. I kind of alluded to it earlier, but I like to feel like I have a lot of control in my competitive games, says the TFT player. That was the thing I think that really annoyed me the most about when I used to play Smash competitively, is that I hated how many matchups I felt like I had to learn. especially when you come from like a smallish local of maybe 6, 7, 10 people that all play kind of the same. You're playing the same team character, the same
And then
10
3 of them are
characters every week,
DDD.
and 3 of them are DDD because you live on the south coast of England. And then you go to like some big local and you play against a character you've played against maybe once ever, if you're lucky. In a roster size of 16, that doesn't happen. It just doesn't. Its probability it just doesn't. But I think that's more of a personal gripe. Some people, like you say, Craig, like the fact they're playing against a different character every game. I'm not one of those people. It really annoys me playing against something losing to something I've not played against before.
You're very happy to complain about playing against JP too much.
Oh yeah, that's just because the character's fundamentally broken. No, we don't need to talk about that. You literally said earlier that you play JP because he's not a Street Fighter character.
Yeah, that's.
Well, the thing is, I come from the world of Smash, so I look at JP and think, "Well, this character's underpowered." I'd play,
He has to touch me 3 times to kill me. Kazio only needs to hit me once. That's kind of
man.
I play my entire game against Pac-Man and Young Link. I can't even move on the stage if I move the C-stick more than anything else in the world. JP allows I can move and block in this game at the same time. Jesus Christ. The fantasy world, the promised land.
Promise.
Have we convinced you to pick up the game, Tom, by the way? Because as much as this is down the circuit jerk, the one Smash player who's not played a fighting game, have we managed to convince you to properly give it a go?
Probably not. I mean, I don't even have a PC or a PlayStation, so I couldn't try it if I wanted to, because I'd have to buy a whole new console.
That does suck. That does suck. I mean, how much you spend on your Switch?
Because Street Fighter isn't on the Switch for some reason, but
it wouldn't run on the Switch.
Would not run on the Switch.
The Switch 2 will come out soon, maybe.
Come give it a go at the week.
Nintendo will be more than happy to have that on their platform.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would if I was, over at Cargo and Street Fighter was on the side, which it typically is, I would play it for fun. I'd just enter for fun because why not? The community's there. It'll be a laugh. But yeah, to get good at it, I obviously, given the characters I play and the type of player I am, I don't think there is somebody in Street Fighter for me.
I do.
As much as I don't want to admit it, you are a JP or Dulcim player.
Dulcim.
You're a JP or a Dulcim player.
I from what I understand, which is very little, Dulcim is not very good.
The thing is with Street Fighter, it's like Smash. It's like Smash Ultimate. Every character is playable. Like Dulcim and Geef are like one of the worst characters in the game, but they still had appearances at Capcom Cup.
If we're being real here, Tom, Belmonts aren't that good.
No, this is very true.
Dulcim is better than Belmont.
Yeah,
you got a point.
Yeah,
relatively.
He's right.
When I'm playing Simon, the other person doesn't get to play the game.
That is the same for Dulcim and JP. It's exactly the same thing.
As much as we would like to, no, that is not obviously the case.
It's Dulcim.
There is 100%. Yeah, I feel like I've got way more control and counterplay than I do.
I did take a which Street Fighter 6 character are you quiz from BuzzFeed about 2 months before the game. Just because I was scrolling and then I saw this, and I did get Dulcim.
Shocker.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think one of the questions was like, what do you like to go in and fight, or do you want to poke at a distance? And I was like, I want to poke at a distance. It's like, do you want your character to have a projectile? I was like, yes, I do. The more, the better. I think after those 2 questions, it was like, right, just give him.
Yeah, just end the quiz now. We already know where we're going to put him.
It's going to be one of the 2.
But no, it's something I'd play for fun. I'm always messing around with every game, but I don't think it's something that I personally would ever would
compete in long term. That's fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a bit of a Nintendo person, if I'm honest. So
yeah, fine.
We need to add Mario to Street Fighter. This is the only way forward.
First step to solving a problem is admitting you got a problem.
If they put Simon Belmont over in Street Fighter 6, I'd make my way over there. Or Olimar, I'd do that. He could have 6 Pikmin.
No, okay, let's not get crazy here.
and then you could just throw them at them and just bounce them off each other onto the wall, and they just kept hitting, and then you just win. And the
Then
white
you
one,
just win, baby. Then you just win.
Uro. You'd like Uro.
Or Oro from 3.
Yeah.
Tengu Stoneham.
Tengu
Well, the main reason we all got into Smash is because I like this character from this
Exactly.
franchise.
I-
It's huge.
I don't know who all of the characters are. Obviously, I know Ryu and Ken because they are in Smash. But like, who's this Luke guy? Do they have backstories?
Yeah.
To Memphis.
Is he like some hungry hobo who was abandoned as an orphan as a child and had to fight the other kids for every?
I don't
food
understand.
I know Luke's a
exactly.
Shoto. That's about as much as I know.
I know he sends people to Memphis.
Who's Memphis?
That's all.
You do go to Memphis.
You
Is
do
that-
go to Memphis.
Is that a place? somewhere?
Memphis is
It's
a
in
place in
America.
America, Tom, yeah.
Is he
Yeah.
like
Hold on. I'll
is he a
send.
travel agent or something?
We'll go with
Yeah.
that. That's way funnier.
Come to Memphis. We've got burgers and
Even
pizzas.
Sarah was laughing at when we were watching it, particularly. Should we mention developer support? We could talk all day about. Everyone's mind has been switched. I could talk all day about developer support.
Yeah.
Imagine playing a game where your developer doesn't actively hate you. It's quite nice, actually. To be fair, you can leave this toxic relationship if you want to. You know, you can just get out of this beautiful relationship. It's not. You can leave. There is someone else out there for you that's willing to support you and love you. And
You're no
treat you well.
longer allowed to ban characters at your tournaments because Nintendo.
yeah,
will
you're not allowed
give
to
you a license.
characters. Yeah.
They contacted some locals in America, and they're like, "You're not allowed to ban Steve, otherwise we'll not."
Did
give
they
you a
really? I didn't
They
hear
did.
about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Wow.
If you want a license, you can't ban Steve.
So
yeah.
they asked for a
Absolutely.
license for this new Nintendo thing, and they said you can have a license if you don't ban Steve.
Yep.
That's wild. I mean, it makes sense from a PR perspective for Nintendo, but yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's like
I mean, to be fair, like I was about to say, Capcom wouldn't let you ban a character, but I don't think a Capcom character's ever been that broken in a competitive setting. But
Arc System Works have allowed a character ban.
yeah. Arc System Works let you ban 21, right? When she
21.
was strong.
Android Lab Coat 21.
Yeah. No, they did. You're right.
Absolute
You're right.
war
Yeah.
crime of a character.
Arc System Works let you ban
I mean-
their character. Yeah.
even I've heard of Android 21 being incredibly broken, and
She
I know
was.
nothing about most things. But yes, I understand she was very, very
Nice
broken.
they banned it.
She every player had her on her team.
It was like for a brief time it was like you're either playing 21 or you don't have a chance to win this tournament.
For those who don't know, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a 3v3 tag-based fighter in the Dragon Ball universe. They released a DLC character, crazy DLC, called Labcoat 21, which was like a different version of an existing character in the game. Think like your Echo Fighters in Smash, right? But she was so disgustingly powerful that even the developers of the game were banning it at their tournaments until they patched it and fixed it. That's how
Yeah,
powerful
like-
she was.
She had a it's I don't go into it. She could combo
Was Bayonetta
into
more broken?
no.
No, 21.
No,
was
there's
more powerful.
counterplay.
Let us know in the
but
comments down
There's
below. Who's your least
counterplay
favourite?
to Smash 4 Bayonetta.
Oh, Smash 4.
She
21
she could reduce your damage of your character by, what was it, 30%, 20%?
21%.
21%, and that was
And
the rest
gave
of the
herself
game.
a 21% buff in
Yeah,
damage.
Tom does that against me in Smash. He just doesn't let me win neutral. And then I can't get off edge. I'll take a 30% damage debuff
But yeah,
to get through his
it's like
cross.
if you want to like know how broken that character was, who was it the video?
Memphis.
Hardcore 21 broken.
I mean, Smash has never even got to ban a character yet, so we can't even agree
You can't
on
even make a
one
decision on
character.
it, yeah.
Don't even
Yeah,
agree.
We got Meta Knight in Brawl, who was like disgustingly broken, but the top players were just like, "Oh, we just."
I
won't
kind of
play
like
him."
Oh,
winning,
he's
though.
Yeah, but he's fun. We're not going to turn up if you ban.
Oh
Meta
yeah,
Knight.
yes.
And then-
If you want to watch a video on Labcoat 21, the Score Esports did a very good video on her. She absolutely destroyed Dragon.
Link in the description, won't we?
Ball. they're a big enough channel. I don't think we need to. I'm mentioning it in passing. They don't need a proper shill.
So, guys, we're now going to go on to the Patreon part of the episode. We segue into that particular aspect. If you are listening to this and you think, "Oh, kind of Smash, I kind of don't really want to play it anymore. Want something else to do,"
Just give a
Street
fighting
Fighter
game a
a
go.
go.
I mean, if you just
Doesn't have to be
realise,
Street
Go,
Fighter.
give anything else. There is so. I think. How can I say this, right? My opinion. I think we're probably getting into the golden age of esports and FGCs in terms of
$1
huge
million
prize pots,
prize pool
$1 million
for first
prize
place.
pool for first place. Great netcode online so that you can play at home instead of traveling 5 hours for your locals, etc. Whatever you want to do. Loads of things that developers give you to make the game better, and loads of things like modern controls and Tekken's ways to ease you into the game and the experience. And if you don't like it, then fine. Find something else. If you only play Smash, you are doing yourself such a disservice. And I'm actually pissed. I spent so many years just playing Smash when I could have enjoyed some other wonderful competitive games that I think I'd actually probably play better Smash now because what I learned in Street Fighter actually can carry over in Smash because it's such a great way of showing you the fundamentals in a simplified way to understand. The amount of times we've done quality check and Tom has explained a fundamental in a simple process. When you go and try and learn it in Smash, it doesn't really apply because the game's not that simple. It's very complicated. But when you play another game and you learn it and see how it transfers over, it feeds your knowledge. So if anything, think of it as a Smash training exercise. Next time you're on break but you want a competitive fix, play something else. It might make your Smash play a little bit better when you come back.
That is something that I did find actually to play. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a little bit because we've been shitting on Smash for a while. That is something I did find. Pardon, Tom?
I was going to say, yeah, I'm loving it, but yeah.
Yeah, that is something of the small time that I did compete in both games. I did find my Smash play improving from playing Street Fighter because of how slow Street Fighter is.
I mean, we were talking about this week. I felt like I was playing a lot better in Smash than I ever did when I was just playing Smash.
Yeah, so we kind of touched on it earlier, but the general movement and pace of Street Fighter is a lot slower than Smash is, no matter what character you play. Obviously, you've got your Foxes and your DKs, right? But as just a game as a whole, Street Fighter is a lot slower. You make less decisions, a lot slower. And you're able to really watch your opponent and figure out their habits as the course of the game goes. The rounds are faster. Obviously, Smash is a 7-minute game. Street Fighter is 99 seconds. But the general moment-to-moment decision-making in Street Fighter is much slower, and that suits a player like me. So I found that when I came back to Smash, I was able to read my opponents and really focus on what they were doing a lot better than I was, because I was focusing more on what they were doing and not so much on what I was doing. But that's just me personally. Well. Yeah.
There's not 500 options in neutral. Yeah. There's like 4 or 5. That's it, and you know how. And you can learn the counterplay to them. But then you go around it when you go back.
I wanted to bring up something actually. I wanted to ask what your guys' thing you miss most about Smash is, because I think my opinion at the moment is that Street Fighter doesn't really have offline tournaments in the UK, and that's the thing that I miss the most. Because obviously I'm still in a lot of Smash Discords, right? And you've got people going to all of these big monthlies, and obviously the locals are a lot more common. Street Fighter doesn't really have that because of how good the online is, and you just don't really see offline events. I think that's the thing I miss most. Like we said earlier, chucking 4 people in a car, driving for hours, and then everyone's chilling in the hotel, and then you're cheering each other on the next day and stuff. You only really have these really big once-a-year tournaments you can attend, and even then it's not purely just for that one fighting game you're there to play. It's every fighting game, right? Because you go to events like UFA and there's 8, 9, 10 different fighting games on available, and you're just there for 1, maybe 2. Whereas Smash has its own big dedicated tournaments. And I think that's something that I really do miss about competing in Smash properly, is those events. What about you guys?
I miss the people who've moved away.
I still play Smash. Being brutally honest, another reason why I stopped playing Smash is because the friends I used to play and grind with, much as I love my friends I've got now, my old friends I first started the game with, they've all gone. They've all moved on or moved away, etc. Those people, you form new relationships and new friends, and that's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, the people that have kind of moved away. I definitely agree with what Wu said in terms of just like, yeah, I miss the offline aspect to it. It's fantastic. It's born out of necessity because the online is just so bad. But the offline, your local, your community, etc., is probably the thing that I miss the most. My bank balance is a lot healthier, which is quite nice. And I don't get home at
He
2
says with a
o'clock in the morning.
£300 arcade stick in the background of his webcam shop.
Oh, how do you think I was able to afford this thing? It's because I gave up Smash and I have to spend 200 quid on a hotel. What do I miss the most about Smash?
Did you just simply use your winnings in the local?
True. What winnings?
Not all of us are good enough to win locals, Tom. Actually, I wasn't
Don't
until
worry.
I picked up Street Fighter. That's the real reason I'm playing. Because
I'll
I can
win,
actually
I'll
win
win.
locals in Street Fighter.
I'll win a local before Vyrus will.
Dan.
I think it is.
I wasn't going to
Honestly,
say
probably.
it. I wasn't going to
Honestly,
say
probably.
it. I wasn't going to say it.
I'm eternally second place.
Bro is the bridesmaid and never the bride.
He's-
It's
bloody
actually
is,
unreal.
The thing that Smash has more than any other game, I remember asking Wu about it, is that the community for traditional fighting games is in the background. In Smash, it's in your face.
It's the forefront.
It's all day, every day. It's your Discord messages at work or at school. It's everyone playing everywhere. It's your local scenes. It's a humongous community that is very much in person.
It's
Street
the
Fighter-
Twitter clips. It's the
Yeah.
Twitter.
It's the Twitter. Well, Twitter to some degree. My Twitter is full of loads of people that I met in Smash.
Yeah.
Like I've got no other purpose for it now other than posting little bits and pieces and trying to do some FGC things. Like I do miss the community aspect of it, obviously. I think being very sentimental, like I kind of missed the first couple years of when I played, and I kind of just kept playing Smash thinking that those days would come back, and they kind of never did, and that's fine. There's nothing there's nothing wrong with that. That happens to everyone, and it's just about finding new experiences and coming on. I just don't want to mention any. I just don't want to think of anything else. Isn't just the community, because obviously that is the biggest thing that sets Smash apart from anything else. Is just the community aspect to it.
Yeah.
I miss being able to blame my combo drops on SDI. Next question.
Bro's not going to mention anything else.
There's
Just
no job.
Bro's done.
not that good, you
That's
get
so
called
funny. That's funny.
I know it's my fault, but I'm not going to tell you that. Oh, good SDI. Well done.
I'm with you, Craig. I do miss all of the people who used to show up at the local and just
40-man cargo
went, like,
weeklies.
1 and 2 or 2 and 2, they'd just sit then and they'd play with you and they'd be happy. Like, Dan Boy. Oh, I love.
I miss Dan Boy. How's he
He
doing?
was so nice. He attended a weekly last week or the week before when I wasn't there. Oh, I was so crushed.
Oh no.
Else, but Dan Boy used to come along. He was like a NES player and a Zelda player, and he was doing a physics degree. I think he was doing a PhD at the uni, and then I think he left halfway through to do something else. But yeah, it was just Ranulph as well. They used to just come along, and
They still turn up occasionally, though, don't they? I think.
Ranulph just but he hasn't in a while actually, because he's got other commitments. So
shout outs to Metros.
shout outs to Charlie.
Shout outs to Charlie Metros.
I miss him so much.
Teaching has taken him the fool. I did warn him, but no, he decided.
Don't get a job. Play Smash competitively. You're Lucas to make it. I promise. Now ditch Daisy, mate. It's all about you, Lucas.
His Lucas experience helped me at front runners, so I'm eternally grateful for him.
I had that the other day. I think who was it? It was oh god, it was Darren, the me sword fighter. I fancy playing a bit of Lucas. And I was like, you've got no idea. I'm one of the few people in this country with actual Lucas experience. Like everyone on the South Coast, because obviously he joined afterwards when Metros wasn't here, and his Lucas got messed up because we had the matchup experience.
Charlie Metros.
We're gonna go out. We're gonna be one of the few people who goes out of region. It's like, oh man, my round one's a me sword fighter. Yes, me sword fighter round one. Let's go. You've got no idea. You ain't matchup checking me winners round one. Send your ass to lose.
But yeah, like a lot of the people who've obviously either moved away from university or just got other things to do. I miss walking into like the local when there being like 25 people there, and there's just endless people to just sit and talk to. because obviously as the game on, no, it's about 12 these days, which is still
Grumpy old
okay.
men.
The room is so loud you
That's
can't
not
hear
bad.
commentary.
Exactly, you know, everybody just people
Tio's
popping
voice
off.
is hurt at the end of the night because they're having to scream over everyone to get people to play their games. I miss early cargo, man.
I miss
Bring it
yeah.
back. Bring it back.
You can bring it back. It's called
Only time
playing
I've
the
ever
game.
beaten Hite was in the week 1 Joker tournament we held. I got first place. I beat his ass, bro. Should have been a Joker main from that day onwards. Be a top player, I tell you.
Bring back
Your
the Sora,
England,
baby.
your England did well. Your England did well in that little spot.
I want to see
after
the
you
Sora
came
come
back.
back.
The
I
Sora,
wanna see the Sora-
don't talk about the
Sora day.
Wumumu Sora, bro. Don't talk about the Woo Sora. The Woo Sora
Yeah,
was not
Well,
the
that's
one.
so
I
funny
do
stuff
not
when
want
you
to
got
see that
Do
come
no
back.
one wants to see the Woo Sora ever again. That character was
I'd
so
love-
wonky.
I'd love
But-
the VOD review. Or
I was
Sora.
so fucking hyped for
See,
that character release, and they are so not worth the effort.
I-
Why would you
I
ever
do-
play Sora when you can play anything else?
I do feel bad because you were playing against me, and I was like, I don't have to try against this character, and you were like, oh, I actually won. I finally got through, and I'm like, no, you've just gotten through my bad habits, and now you're going to play this in the tournament and get beaten by the next person who knows how to play against Sora.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to tell you this, mate, but my B button won't work in the whole game. Like I couldn't. I just missed up.
I
my
was just kind of
recovery every time,
autopiloting.
you
I
know?
got bored. I'm winning too much, you know.
Yeah, we're friends at the end of the day, you know.
I gotta make you feel good sometimes, you know.
Never in a million years. People move on, and so should you.
Yeah.
So
I
should
mean,
everyone.
eventually, yeah, the game will either just run its course because
Unless
you
it's
know,
melee. That
I
game was
do-
never dying.
Melee's
I
never
disagree.
gonna
I
fucking
disagree.
die.
The game will never die as long as you keep playing. If it's 3 people in a room, in your bedroom, the game lives. If you want to move on, the game will not do it for you. You have to make the difficult decision to move on. The game won't die. Decision won't be made for you. You have to decide when you're ready to move on. It won't just happen, and
I
you
mean,
won't just
yeah.
suddenly realise. It won't be made for you. You've
To
got to
be
make.
fair, there are still Smash for Wii U brackets that are running to this day.
Why?
I do
Only
not
masochists
understand
want
it
to
at
play
all.
that game competitively, bro. I do
So-
not understand it.
It's
Craig's got a
definitely
point. Craig's got a point.
it's definitely just 5 Bayonetta mains sitting in a room.
They're just playing like round robin dittos all night, bro. That's all that community is.
Oh, Smash Ultimate ruined this character. She was fine. There's nothing wrong with her.
I don't know if either of you have ever watched it, but when they did that invitational tournament on the Nintendo stage and Sakurai attended,
Yes.
fucking Redacted, I think it was Redacted, did the Bayo combo off the
No, it was
top.
Leo.
Was it Leo?
Leo.
I couldn't remember. They were both there.
Leo did it on Plup.
Yeah, and
Plup
the
was
the
finished.
whole crowd just booed. And if you could like zoom in on Sakurai's face, and he's like, "Oh God, not again!" It's so funny.
Did they run another one ever again?
No, and the character did not work when she came out because of it.
No. I mean, it was super
MK
fortunate.
Yeah,
that
MK Leo saved us all from
Yeah,
Bayo round 2. Yeah, he's like, "I'm
was
gonna
super
try it and see
fortunate,
if it
yeah.
still works," and we're glad he did.
It was Leo playing. It was on greens, which has like a super low ceiling.
Yeah.
And it was Ridley, and Plup just did an SDI because, like, why
would you? Yeah, it's a new game, right? You're not playing to win.
So I think those 3 factors went super in our favor.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, when she came out, she was probably a bottom 10, 15
Oh yeah,
character.
the character
came
did
out,
not
she was
work. When she
Very,
came out.
very bad. Like, she could do all of her combos, but like they just didn't kill. Jab didn't kill. Dash attack didn't kill. Forward throw didn't kill. So she'd get to like 150, and she would have to witch time and smash attack you. And then obviously they just progressively
Witch
buffed
time.
her.
What which time move didn't work either, bro. You were slowed for like half a second, if that.
I think I still have a clip where I lived to 180% and then killed Bayonetta at 0% with one combo.
Don't happen in Street Fighter.
That don't happen. But no, I also want to spell the rumor that you don't die in 2 or 3 interactions in Street Fighter either.
No, you
it's
do.
more like 5. It's like
Yeah,
5
you do.
At top level, you do. High top level, you
You
do.
We're not
Definitely.
playing top level,
I
are
said
we?
high level, high top level, you do.
Nah, not high level.
I can kill you in 2
I can kill you in 2 interactions.
No, you can't because you have 10,000 health and you don't have 2 level 3s in a single game. Fuck you.
You can cope all you want, bro.
I'm not coping. You say 2. I say 3 or 4, and they're
Okay.
massive differences.
Okay, bro.
What's 2? Yeah, 100 divided by 2 is 50%. Divided by 3, 33%. Massive difference.
If I can do 60 and 40, that's 100. That's all I
You
need.
can't do 60 and
You
40.
can?
How are you doing 40 without a level 3?
Huh? You
How
just
are
you,
doing
you
40
just
without
spend
level
you just
3?
spend 4 drive gauges, and then you recover it, and then you interact again, and then you kill them.
So there's like all the mini interactions between your drive gauge and recovery.
Yeah,
JP players have found the forbidden combo.
yeah,
What is
I've
the
seen it.
forbidden-
We
what
can
is-
go.
What is this?
We can now go round start, take you to the corner, get set play in the corner, and kill you off of that set play. It is entirely possible to kill you in one interaction and a 50-50.
Why haven't we seen it?
Because I don't want.
Because
I
the
don't
game's
know
not
how
even a
to
year
do it.
old yet.
The game's not a year old. The character's probably going to get nerfed again.
Yeah.
Oh,
true.
you're hiding
So-
it.
This.
Yeah,
They're
Ken, by
like
the way, is
it's
mid-tier.
publicly
Ken
documented.
is mid-tier. He's not good character. He's terrible. Like, just ridiculous. Ken is so
It's-
bad. I'm tired
it's-
of people thinking this
okay.
character's broken.
It's a publicly documented thing. It's not something that is like, oh, we're going to hide this in the JP Discord. No, it's all available on fucking Twitter, YouTube, you name it.
I
The
reckon
JP
it's
Discord.
like. Do you remember the Diddy Kong Infinite, where
The
they
pyramid scheme,
Pyramid
yeah.
scheme.
Pyramid
Bring
scheme.
it back.
And
I love the
And then
pyramid scheme.
all of the Diddy Kongs were like, we know about it, or we're not going to use it in tournament. Until that one Japanese Diddy Kong that kept doing it. And then everybody was like, oh, well, now he's done
ruined
we'll
it
do
now. The Nintendo ninjas have ruined it.
That's what the JP players were doing. They're like, we'll publish it. We won't do it on stream.
We're gonna wait
We'll
until
publish
Akuma
it.
comes out and the patch comes out, and then we're gonna start
Then we're
using
doing
it.
it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
like,
Tom's
all 6
right.
months
Tom's right.
before.
It's a conspiracy.
But also, the combo is very fucking hard.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not like that won't stop anybody. Like, give it a few months of execution, and people will be getting that down.
Especially with the consistencies of Street
Yeah.
Fighter.
That is
Yeah.
another thing we need to bear in mind as well when we talk about damage numbers in 6. It's still a very new game in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, definitely is. I know it's
As-
kind of just a random thing that I know about, but it's been a very common thing in human history for one person to ruin it for everyone. When the M25 first came out years ago, it had no speed limit. Till one idiot decided to go 120 in his new car and crashed it, and then they brought new legislation in, and all of a sudden they've got 70-mile-an-hour limit. Because one idiot decided to go a bit too quickly, had speed limit.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds appropriate.
What a plonker.
Oh, I think that's a pretty good place to leave it, actually. Yeah, it's been very interesting. It's been really good to hear, a lot of talk about other fighting games and how things are gone. So, yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
Craig,
guys.
you got any final words, Craig?
Brush your teeth twice a day with adult fluoride toothpaste and don't rinse.
Do not rinse.
Do not rinse.
Exactly.
Do
yes.
not rinse. You don't rinse. The toothpaste is meant to stay in your mouth for like another half an hour while it does its job. If you rinse it, you just get rid of half of it, so it doesn't do work. I've got missing teeth. I'm not going to show it here because we don't want age restriction. But I'm having teeth pulled out because my teeth are so bad. 370 quid to get it out. A lot
Don't
of
say
money.
that. You'll have the Americans
Not
flaming
teeth.
us for our teeth again on Twitter.
They're not wrong, mate. They are really not wrong.
Fuck's
My
sake.
dentist was like, those fillings you've got? I was like, yeah. They were like, they don't even do them in like Turkey. That's like, we're apparently the only country in the world that does like these cheap fillings. Like, so yeah. Our
For the
dentist-
problem.
And we haven't got any dentists anyway because the Tories stole them all. So yeah,
Party.
good
money.
advice.
By the way, this is now the Patreon part of the episode. If you want to continue your opinions about, how Rishi Sunak.
Yeah, let's talk about politics. I'm sure that'll go down great.
That'd be a good idea. I actually thought you might ask me this question, and that was my joke answer, even though it's actually quite serious. And then I do have another answer. I'll see if I can remember what it was, but I can't remember.
Do you want me to come back to you?
Yeah, come back to me if I can remember what it is.
Vyrus, have you got any final words?
Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know every time a new episode goes live.
Kiss ass.
And
Based.
you stream, don't you? What's your stream?
I do
and what you
stream.
doing?
I was gonna do it even if you weren't. Don't you worry.
Yeah. I kind of just stream as and when I feel like it. I've mostly been doing Pokemon content at the moment. I've got a Soul Link going with Woo every Monday, and sometimes another day of the week. And then every now and then I've been doing a Kaizo Ironmon stream, and I might be
Because Vyrus is a
streaming.
masochist.
I might be streaming both Sonic Adventure DX and some Street Fighter 6 in the coming months. And you can find all of that at twitch.tv/virusplays.
Okay, very nice. And Woo, any final words?
Yeah, so obviously I know that we've... I just want to clear something up real quick. I know obviously we've been talking a lot about Street Fighter and like the positives of the game and the bad times that we... Not necessarily bad times, but the reasons that we've quit. We're not trying to like turn the Smash community into a bunch of Street Fighter players. Just want to make that very clear. We don't hate the game, we don't hate the community. We just kind of wanted to get on here and talk about our experiences and why maybe we've put the game down, because the game, let's be honest, it is in its golden years. The game is 6 years old. The community is smaller than it was. And we just wanted to kind of talk through our experiences regarding that and maybe point some of you in the direction of a new game that we've all picked up that we've had a lot of fun with. So if you are interested, then do give it a go. But in terms of my personal stuff, obviously you can see my Twitter down below. I tweet pretty much anything that I'm doing in terms of Twitch. So my Twitch is the same as my Twitter. Like Vyrus said, we're streaming a Soul Link at the moment. We're about to do the Elite Four.
We might have.
We might actually have already done it by the time this comes
finished
out.
it
Yeah.
by the
So
time
if we
this comes
haven't,
out.
check that out. Also, I've got a YouTube channel as well that I advertise on my Twitch. It's not very active at the moment, but it might be in the future. And I'm going to be streaming more JRPGs and Street Fighter stuff going forward as well. So there's that for me as well. And obviously, I produce this, so you're welcome.
Actually, yeah.
He does do this, yeah.
Thank you, Woo.
I get shout-outs every week, but in case you've never listened to an episode before.
Thank you for your free
Also,
labour.
Did you remember your answer, Craig, or is it just gone?
I have one more
Don't worry,
thing. If this hasn't been announced by the time this episode's due to go live, you can cut it.
Okay.
Come to the next Mania. We've got a new venue. We've got a new... Probably a new schedule as well. But we are running another Mania.
Are you doing a Street Fighter 6 side bracket?
If we,
Probably not.
That would be good, actually.
Why?
because setups are hard to get.
It's,
I'll bring one.
We,
I'll
we,
bring
we,
my
can,
PC.
yes,
I'll bring
that's
two.
one.
we,
That's
we,
one.
we can talk about it, but maybe
But
I will push for it.
What do you mean you'll push for it? You're literally.
I'm on the
TO.
team, but I'm not like the sole deciding force of the team, bro.
We don't
Yeah.
have a soldier involved.
See,
in the
this
team.
is
It's
where you're going
partly
wrong, Woo.
yours, but-
I'm
Wanna
not
run
a
next
dictator
time?
of the Mania
Yeah.
TO team, bro.
I mean, now is the time to take power and see. But there's a vacuum in power. You can seize that power.
I don't
You can
care
let-
enough to seize that power. I just make the graphics and turn up on the day.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I make graphics as well, by the way. If you like anything you see on my stream or on these videos, then hit me up and I can make you something.
That's true.
I've not done that for a while.
Graphics. You'll have to do a new logo for me because I've still got Falcon on it.
Yeah, I've offered, but you kept telling me no.
Well, well, the thing is, Ben has to do it, and if he doesn't do it, he will literally drive down here and kill me with a mace.
We do love Benjamin.
We love Ben.
If Ben doesn't do it,
Actual
like,
goat of the
he-
South Coast.
he would kill me. Man does great graphics.
Incredible graphics.
You can follow me on Twitter, I suppose.
Only if you want.
Only if you want to. I don't know. I'll follow you back. There you go. That's a good enough reason.
That is.
Do you
I
follow for
follow-
follow?
Damn.
Fantastic. I get likes
Great
from bots.
stunts going up.
I get likes from bots occasionally. That's fantastic. If I post anything inspirational, some bot will come underneath me and be like, "Yeah, slay, fire." Like, even though they've got no idea what I'm talking about,
Pussy
it
in
has
bio.
happened a couple of
Oh,
times.
the
Yeah,
amnesia in bio.
pussy in bio. So that's fine. Yeah, follow us if you want to. Thank you very much for having me on. It's really great. As much as we are kind of miserable buggers, Smash is a wonderful game, and this is really, really great fun. That's why we all play it. That's why we all played it for years, etc. But just remember that your time will come when you don't play it anymore, and that's fine. The end of an era is the start of another one, and it is your decision to do so. There's nothing wrong with it. You'll miss it, yes. But as my mum used to say, don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened. And come play Street Fighter, Tom. I'm trying to. There's barely any offline doesn't exist for Street Fighter, and I'm just like really. That's a huge change from Smash to Street Fighter. Just how much there is no offline at all across the entire country. So I'm right now just guilt tripping all my friends into trying to play it, so that everyone can just come around and play, and then we can just go back to the good old days. And then I'll win.
But yes, thank you very much all for listening, and thank you to my guests for coming. I appreciate it all, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.